Spirit to spirit. We can touch mind to mind. And as we connect and as we build this energy of connectedness to the vine, to God, to our divine example that walked on the earth for 33 years, as we connect one to another and to our own divinity, then we can see all the amazing things that God has for us. And then I can look over into your life and I can see the divine blessings that God is manifesting in your life. And I can look into the eyes and the life of my children, and I can look down the line and I can see what God has in store for them. We're talking about connecting to something that's beyond what we can see, beyond what we can even feel with our tactile hands. We're talking about what we can connect to in the spirit realm. That's where our power is. It's in the spirit realm. And then what we do is we call it forth into this that we can see and that we can experience. How beautiful, how lovely is it that we can come together and that we can meditate and we can praise and we can worship a God that is ever present, that is moving. That is moving when we don't see it. That's moving when we don't acknowledge it. He's even moving when we don't even thank him for moving. He's moving anyway. In spite and despite you, he's still moving, and he's still God, is still majesty, dominion, and power. So as we go about our day, count it not robbery to just take a minute to thank him for what he has done for you. Thank him for what he's done for others, even in this fellowship. I made up my mind I wasn't even going to say anything about this, but y'all, on Friday afternoon, some lady hit us in the back, me, Cedric, and our 2 kids. She ran into the back of us. We were sitting still on Georgia 400, Kevin. You know what that's like. Georgia 400 lady hit us in the back. Do you know we get out? Me and Cedric, the kids, fine. They still looking at the iPad. They fine. They healthy. We okay. That's because of the connectedness. That's because God said, I got y'all enveloped in my love, in my protection. My babies are fine. They won't phase at all. The only thing they want to do was see the police car come up. They were fine. We're fine. Come on, y'all. So how beautiful it is when we can come together. Because it could have been something different today on this morning. But I can glorify and magnify my God, meaning I can make him big in my life because of what he did for me and my family just a couple of days ago. And not only because I saw that, I experienced that, but I can thank him. I can make him big in my life for all the things that I never even saw, for all the protections, for all the blessings, for all the miracles that I didn't even see and haven't even realized have happened in my life yet. I can still thank him. I thank God for what he is doing in my life. And I thank him for what he is doing in yours. Somebody said, God's grace is sufficient, meaning it's more than enough for me. His grace is sufficient. And I am thankful. I am so thankful. All right, let's get into it. Oh, God. Y'all know, it's just, if you know what I've been through, you know I'm thankful. We're going to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 3, 10 through 13. 1 Corinthians 3, 10 through 13. And it says, according to the grace of God, which is given unto me, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if any man build upon his foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest. For the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. Let me say that one again. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. So if I could choose a text for a topic for today's text, it would be building your life. Building your life. What are you building and why? Building your life. What are you building and why? Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, God. First of all, God, we come thanking you and praising you, God, for this day, God. We thank you, God, for this day that we have set aside time just to come and commune with you and commune with one another to hear what thus saith the Lord in this time and in this season and in this moment, God. We love you and we praise you, God, and we thank you, God, for just how you have blessed us so much, God. You've blessed us abundantly with your revelation and with your word. And today we ask, God, that you continue to just take us deeper in you, take us higher in you. God, that we can build our lives on something that will last, that we can build our lives in a way that it will bring forth, God, more understanding even in others, that we can be an example, God, that we're not a liability to you, God, but that we're an asset. God, give me what to say and I will say it. Give me what to do and I will do it. For it's in your son Yeshua's name I pray, amen. All right, y'all, let me get myself together. All right. So today we're talking about building your life, what you are building and why. So I want to ask you a quick question. How many of you remember the story of the three little pigs? Y'all remember the story, the three little pigs? And it's told in all different ways. All right, I see my virtual hands being raised. All right, so in this story, and it's funny, a lot of times we take little nursery rhymes and stuff for granted, really what maybe could be seen there. But you understand that it's very important to build sound structures so they're able to endure storms. We all understand that. And even in a child's story, we can learn something and we can actually see a reflection of ourselves. So, as we're thinking about this story, I'm not going to point out, you have to think about which pig are you. So, as we think about this, the decision before all of us as builders of our life is whether we will build quickly without quality and wind up with a house that can easily be blown down or blown away? Or are we going to build steadfastly, line upon line, precept upon precept? Are we going to be building a house that cannot be blown away? Are we going to make it out of material that will last? We think about, you can go to the pyramids, and I don't know how old they are, but I know they're thousands and thousands and thousands of years old in the desert, and they still there because they were built one just out of an amazing ingenuity that I don't even know people could do today. I don't think they could even build anything like that today. And they made it out of materials that will endure. So how are you building your life? Have you stopped to consider whether you're building your life so that it can endure the storms that life is sure to bring your way? So now if we get back to the three little pigs, they had something that they were supposed to do. They left their mama's house and they set off to build their own life. So as they went on about their life, each pig took their own path. So we're going to talk about this first little pig. And I think that I'm not gonna say I can't. No, there ain't nobody in here that's like this little pig. We're gonna go ahead and throw that away. There ain't nobody like this little pig because this pig did not like to work. This little pig did not like hard work. So what he did was he built his house real quick out of straw, and he built it on soft sand, and he finished his house in one day. And I know there's nobody like that here. We all hard workers. I know y'all. We workaholics almost. Like we own our grind, we own our business. But for those other pigs out there are those pigs out here that don't want to work. Like people used to say they wouldn't work in a pie factory eating pie. They don't want to do nothing. They don't believe in hard work. They don't believe in diligence. And so he did just enough to say, I got a house. I got somewhere to lay my head. And as a matter of fact, we think about it, in some of the stories, it says that he had a hammock. Didn't really have a house, and then he didn't even have a whole bed. He just had a hammock. He's like a beach bum. He's just chilling, right? And he was so satisfied with himself because he was done before everybody else. You ever see those people? They just want to say, I beat you. They don't care how they did it. They just want to get to the finish line before you, and they don't even care whether it's something that is going to last. They're in competition. They just want to be done and say, oh, I got it. I got married before everybody else. They didn't care about building a good relationship. They just wanted to get married before all their friends. And then what they in a marriage that's not going to last. It's as straw. They're quick to do their work. Remember those kids in class when you got to do a test and that person get finished first, they turn that paper over, I'm done. And then those are the people that might not even graduate from high school. They just want to be done before everybody else. So what he did was he was done, and he's sitting there lying on his hammock, and he's satisfied with himself because he finished so quickly, and he's looking forward to just a lazy life of leisure. And so this first little pig is like a Christian, a saint, a believer who is not concerned about putting effort into building his or her spiritual life. They just want to be done before everybody else. They want to get to the altar before everybody else. They want to get their communion before everybody else. They want to just get their sainthood before everybody else, but they have not thought about how to build their spiritual building so that it will last. And then the least little bit of storm, the least little bit of trial, the least little bit of tribulation, what do? They fall by the wayside because they have not built their life on something that will stand. So I'm asking you this morning, how are you building your life? Are you building it that it will be able to withstand the storms that are sure to come in your life? Because they're coming. I ain't saying every storm is going to be a hurricane or a typhoon or a what's the thing, a tsunami. I'm not saying everything like that, but I tell you what, a good thunderstorm can rattle your cage too. A little bit of lightning can disturb your day. So how are you building your life? This reminds me of Romans 12:11 that says, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. The first little pig does not like to work, but it takes work to build your spiritual life with God. It takes zeal, it takes fervor, it takes effort, and you just don't get it by osmosis. You can't even build your spiritual life just by sitting here every Sunday. You got to go past this hour. You got to read. You got to pray. You got to meditate. You got to think on this thing. You got to be singing to yourself. You got to be talking to God in a car. You got to be singing and contemplating and thinking as you're going about your day while you're washing dishes, while you're in the shower. You got to have this all day, every day kind of attitude. You got to have the right kind of attitude, because this is something you just can't lay to the side or take off. This is all day, every day, 24/7. You know, this is something that you got to hold on to, because the storms of life, they're raging. The circumstances that will rattle you to your very core are around the corner. So you can't get ready. You got to be ready. You got to have the right attitude. And the first pig's attitude was, whatever it takes to get by. Do y'all know the people? I just need enough just to get by. I just need enough if I can make it till I go to bed tonight. That's all I need. They're not thinking about what's past the getting by. What's past the end of this 24 hours? So if you're not putting 100% into your relationship with God and yourself, if you're not working at building your life and your faith, then you will reap what you have sown. So if you're just doing enough to get by, then that's all you'll do is get by. You can only get out what you put in. Come on, somebody. And how many people, they don't want to put nothing in, but they want to get everything out. Having worked, having put in the time, the effort, but got their hand out, waiting for somebody to give them something, but you ain't putting nothing in. I got some seedlings over there now, Miss Julia. They are doing so good. I got cilantro, I got sage, I got basil, I got tomatoes coming up from seed, y'all. If I had not sown the seed, I will not get a seedling. I will not get a harvest if I never put a seed in the dirt. You got to put something in to get something out. Now, the second thing I want to point out about this pig, this first pig is a trip when you think about it, is that he liked to blow his own horn. Y'all seen this story, because the kids love the Three Little Pigs, and there's a Disney one. And he got all this time to play his little flute. You ever known these kind of people who spend little time working, but they spend a whole lot of time talking about themselves and running other people down? Now they ain't doing the work, but boy, you would declare, oh yeah, doc, I'm doing da 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 da. Oh yeah, girl, I'm doing bugger, I'm bubbling, I'm moving, I'm done. And you doing too much talking for me. Cause if you got time to do all this talking, you ain't working. What they say, I ain't got time to have time. When I think about all the things that I have going and moving, and you hear that people have a lot of big eyes and little U's. I. And Leanne, what you doing today, girl? It's like you over here building empires and they doing nothing, but they talk themselves up so big. And you'll be like, oh man, I'm not doing anything compared to them. But then if you ever get a chance to look at their tree and look at the fruit on it, a lot of them, they're like that fig tree by the side of the road that Jesus curses, that it was full of leaves. But when you pull the leaves back, there's no fruit. You in front of good front, you got all these leaves, but when I pull it back and I'm hungry and I can't even get nothing from you because you empty. I'm coming to you because you said I'm at this level and I've done this and I'm this and I'm that. And I come to you because I'm hungry and I can't even get enough from you because you're full of leaves and I can't eat leaves. I'm looking for figs. He's living, listen to this, he's living in spiritual poverty because he is all talk. And we got to think about that. We cannot be all talk. We got to be about our business. We ain't got time to be sitting there talking and laying on a hammock and running around blowing a horn. We got to be about our business. Now, we're going to get to the second little pig. Y'all with me? So, the second little pig took one look at the little shack that his brother had, and he said, well, you know what? I ain't gonna do mine out of hay and out of straw. I'm gonna make mine out of sticks. So he took a whole lot of sticks and built his house. But this is the thing, this little pig is more concerned about appearance than taking the responsibility to actually build something better. He already sees what the other one built. So he could say, okay, I'm not going to do that. I really need to make sure that I build my house on a firm foundation, that I use good materials that's going to last. But all he was interested in was building a better house than the first pig. That's all he cared about. He was like, well, you know what? I really know I need to take the time. I really know I need to develop myself. I really need to know. I need to study. I need to take some measurements. I need to go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get me some good materials. But he said, I don't even care what it is. I just want it better than the first one. We know people like that. Like they don't really care. I just gotta do better than sister so and so. I just gotta do better than my homeboy. I just gotta do better than people across the street. I need a better car. I don't even care if the car is like a 1982 as long as it's a Range Rover or a BMW. I don't even care. I just gotta have a better car than the person across the street. And we think about what it looks like. So he builds his house with sticks in the middle of this beautiful little valley. And it doesn't take him much longer to build his house than the first little pig, but it looks better, so he's satisfied. So he goes to bed at night and he got his little cot. And so he even upgraded. He's not on a hammock. He got a cot in his stick house. So he's laying back and he's like, oh, I feel good because I just got my stuff looking better than pig one. And even in this, like, he's relaxed because he feels better, but then he got this constant little nagging back here because, man, if a storm comes, I really don't know how this is gonna hold out. If this car break down, I don't even know how I'm gonna pay to get it fixed, but I'm just gonna keep on hoping that it run. Right. Just as long as I look better than everybody at the job, I just gotta do that. Or I'm gonna put all these clothes on the credit card and just hope that I get a bonus in time to pay the bill. I just want to have these clothes on so everybody looks at me and be like, oh girl, I love them clothes that you got on. I love those shoes, but I don't really have the money to pay for it, but I just want to look the part. How many do you know anybody like I just gotta look the part? I'm gonna tell you, I've been kind of in that position where I was buying things because I liked the way it made me feel and I liked the way it looked, but it wasn't really in my scope of what I really should have been doing. I should have been doing something else, and now I had to learn as I got older to really be responsible and obedient with what I have, with my resources. I don't want to just look the part. I want to be the part. If I want to spend money on something, it's because I got it. It ain't because I robbed Peter to pay Paul. I got it. And that's what God can put you in a place where you ain't got the front. You just are. So he was worried about what he looked like. So look, he thought he was so bad. The next day, he decided to have a party. And he invited his brothers and he invited all his friends so everybody could come and see this stick house that he built. And he actually was the one that played the fiddle. So he's singing and he's dancing, he's playing the fiddle. He got all his friends and his brother. The thing about it is pig one came, but pig three that we're about to talk about, he was too busy to come to the party because he was building. So the second pig knows that he should have built a stronger house, but he doesn't want to spend the extra time, the money, and the effort to do it right. So the second pig is like a lot of us who knows, this is the thing, who knows and understands the spiritual responsibilities that we have, but won't discipline ourselves to do them. And how terrible is that to know what you're supposed to do, but don't do it? I believe that God is going to hold you more accountable than the ones that didn't know. Because you can never claim ignorance. God just didn't know, because you do know. But you just chose to turn your back on what your responsibility is because you thought it was going to take too long. You turned your back on what God asked you to do because you thought it was going to take you away from the party. You thought that you wouldn't have any friends because it's going to take you away from that. But God, nonetheless, is going to hold you responsible and accountable for what you did not do because you knew what you were supposed to do. The lack of spiritual responsibility will have negative effects on this second pig's life because he knew what he was supposed to do. Another thing is, listen to this, he can easily be deceived by false doctrines because he doesn't like the responsibility of studying and engrossing himself in God's word and disciplining himself in what he's supposed to do, eating the right things, drinking the right things, being in the right places, exposing himself to the right things. So he's going to look good on the outside, but he won't be good in totality. James 4:17 says, therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. Let me say that again. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So when the second pig doesn't realize, so what he doesn't realize is that he has a responsibility to build his life and to build it well. You have a responsibility to build your life and to build it well. It's not about a fast track. It's not about the easy way, because the easy way is full of temptation. The easy way is full of trouble. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, let's get to this third pig. So the third pig, he's decided to build his house out of brick and out of mortar and on a solid foundation. Now listen, it took him a long time and the work was difficult and it was tedious, but the third little pig was looking forward to peace and comfort of a strong, sound home. Now listen to this, y'all. It took him longer and the work was harder. But what he had in mind, we were trying to kind of get this home on, I think it was Tuesday, of thinking about the end in sight. You plan from the end. What do you want at the end? He knew, I want peace. I want comfort. I want a beautiful home that I can come into and be safe. It's my refuge. You know, your home is your refuge. This is where you find peace. This is where you find comfort. This is where you can kick your feet up. You can lay back and you can relax from the toils of this world. From the outside, this is your place of safety. And so he thought about it. If I put the hard work in now, I can have that at the end. You know, I've been telling y'all I'm in this dissertation process, and what my university decided to do is that they don't just, you take all your classes and they turn you loose and you got 5 years to finish your dissertation. What they do is we're still in class. So every 10 weeks, you're in a different class until you finish. So what takes some people 5 years to finish, y'all, I will be done in a year. It is hard. It is a lot of work. If y'all knew how long it took me to get my proposal, I just finished my proposal last week. And I got my grade on Thursday. And my teacher, my professor, she said, y'all, she said in the very beginning, she said, don't expect no A's. Y'all, I had an A in every class leading up to this one. Out of 4.0, some classes I had 100 average in it. I was like, okay, I'm coming in here. Man, this proposal ain't nothing. I can write, I can da. And I'm telling you, about week 2, boy, my little ego was, I came to a realization that, Rafonda, yeah, you good, but you ain't that good, because Dr. Ayers is about to break all y'all down. And we all complaining. We have a call every Monday, and we like, oh, I can't believe she wrote that. And she told me I wrote too much anthropomorphism. What in the world is that? And I'm looking and I'm like, oh, she was like, well, you cannot give an inanimate object like a humanistic quality. And so I was like, oh, but every study I read, every dissertation I read, they do that. You know, the study saw, the study did. She said, a study can't see anything. A study can't reveal anything. And I'm like, oh, wow. I had to retool myself through this time. And I didn't get an A. I got a really high B. She said she won't give it no A's, but I had to look at that thing. But I got a finished 40-some page proposal that I'm planning going to submit to IRB in a couple of weeks, and it's going to get approved because what she did was she said, you're not going to take the easy way out. You gonna sit here and yeah, they gave you hundreds in your other classes and y'all thought y'all were really hot stuff coming in here, but I'm gonna make you learn today that you got to do it right. And I don't care what other dissertation you saw from whatever university, I don't care what other published article you saw from Dr. So-and-so, they did it wrong, but you're gonna do it right because at the end of this, you're not only gonna have a finished dissertation, but you're gonna publish. She said, this is going to enhance your career. You're going to be published in a journal at the end of this. So she said, don't take the easy way out. Yeah, I could say, mark you off. Oh, you did it. It's great. It's great. It's great. Because she's the only person that's going to grade our stuff. We don't have to do a committee or nothing. But every week she comes back and what she edits again. And you're like, I can't believe she's taking me through all this. But when I looked at my proposal and then at the end, she said, very nice job, Rovonda. I love how you did this. And I love how you did that. I felt a sense of accomplishment. I had to go the long way and the hard way, but wouldn't you rather do it the hard way and get the benefit of it than doing it the easy way? And then you look like a fool out there to somebody that read your stuff later because the person that graded it could care less. Because some of these things I read, I'm like, who in the world let this go? And they walking around a doctor somewhere. So we got to think about this. When we build our spiritual lives with tenacity, we're building it with fervor and with strength. And so the first two pigs, they wanted to play around and they even picked on the third pig for working hard. But when the storm came and it blew all they had done away, where did they go? When the storm came, the big bad wolf came and he huffed and he puffed and he blew their little houses down. Where did they run? They had to go to the third pig's house. Do we know people that they sat there, they played around, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and then when it all falls apart, where do they go? They come to you. Right. They said the one that was picked on for doing the work. Girl, you need to come out. Girl, you don't play enough. Girl, you work too hard. There's no such thing as working too hard, people. You got to work hard to get it. I can't sit here and do halfway or I'm gonna take a when I take my vacation, I take my books and my computer with me. Okay, I can't sit here and say, well, I'm just gonna get a doctorate because they told me so, or because I'm black or whatever. They ain't gonna give me nothing. I got to earn it, and I don't want it if I don't earn it. There's nothing in this world that I want. Just give it to me. I'm not built that way, and I know there's a lot of people that feel like they're entitled to something, but nobody is entitled to anything in this life. Even when you wake up and you breathe, you should say thank you because you are not entitled to. God is granting you that blessing. He's granting you that miracle on that day, and you ought to be thankful for it. People who are like the third little pig, they're sober and they're diligent. They are alert and they are in control. And they don't mind the hard work they're putting into their relationship with God because they know that their hard work now will lead to that future of peace and comfort later. People talk about sending up your timber. It's an old thing, sending up your timber every day. If you send up your timber and you build up your spirituality, you build up your spiritual man, then when those things come and you can't even utter a word, you already put it up. You already put it out there. You got this force field on you. When somebody hits you in the back and you just sitting there, you ain't got to be worried about me. Even me said we were at peace. You know, we sitting there helping the lady because she was all upset. We had a peace about ourselves. We were okay. Yeah, the bumper needs to be replaced, but good God in Zion, thank you. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my children. I thank him that we were sitting still and won't going 80 miles an hour. God got a plan, y'all, that's mighty sweet. And when some people say, oh, the devil. No, God did it. And I don't even know, even in this instance, how God is setting forth motion to bless us. We don't even know yet. The blessings that are yet to be revealed, even what seemed like a trying time. So we need to build our spiritual lives. Don't stop. Keep working. And there's no such thing as these half-baked jobs. There's a time for everything, and now is the time to build. I'm going to say that again. There's a time for everything, and now is the time to build. So he built his life, line upon line, precept upon precept. So as you contemplate this, I would love for you to think about this on this week. What are you building? What are you building? Bring back this question. As you're building your life, what are you building and why? What's your motivation? Is it I'm building it just to get it done, to get it over with so I can say it's done? Are you building it because I want to look better than the other people? Or are you building it to be the beacon? Are you building it to be a legacy? Are you building it to be strong and to endure the test of time, to be able to pass it along to your children? What are you building your life on? All I want to do, y'all, I want to be the best Rovonda Michelle Bradford that I can be. I want to be the best mom, the best wife, the best health educator, the best, whatever, minister, the best. I want to just be the best that I can be. So into doing that, I have to build myself. I have to build myself with knowledge. I got to read. I have to study. I have to, even just take in the elements. I got to take in everywhere I go. I'm watching people. I'm listening. I'm listening for what I can hear in the spirit so that I can use that knowledge to do something else. I don't even watch TV haphazardly, because even when I'm watching something, a reality show or whatever, I'm looking for the lesson in it. Everything is showing me something. So as I'm building something that will last. Building on a strong foundation. It might take some time, y'all. It might take a little longer. But I'd much rather, y'all, when that big bad wolf come blowing, and he gonna come one of these days, that I can just look out the window and watch. Ain't got to run to nobody else's house. I'm the house. Come on, y'all. You are the house that you are building. How strong is your house? How strong is your foundation? Let's get it, y'all. We said in the very beginning of this thing that we are going somewhere. We have a divine purpose. We are trying to find our personal legend. And the only way to do that is to build a strong house, a strong foundation. That when the tests and trials come about, that you can stand firm and do what you need to do in that moment in response to whatever it is that's coming your way. Let's be strong and let's be fulfilled. Yeah, you got to work now, but when you choose to sit down, you can sit down in comfort, in air conditioning, in heat, having your beautiful things about you. Mama, I watched The Quiet Man the other night. She wanted to have her beautiful things about her. Me and Cedric, we've been doing things around the house. So even this space can feel comfortable for us, because this is our oasis. So think about that, comparing that physical house to the spiritual one. Don't you want to have peace in this? Don't you want to love residing in this space? Don't you want to relax in this space? So you have to do the work. So that even in your own head, in your own spirit, it's a place of peace and of refuge. Not only for you, but for somebody else. I pray that you all have enjoyed this. I hope this gives you something to think about and to contemplate on this next week. I just thank you all again for just sticking with us. We right here till like one more week until a whole year of Conspired Destiny. And I thank you for your support. God has been so good and we are growing. Just want to remind y'all, I sent out the link for our registration for our exercise program. That's next week. Please, if you have not registered, I need your registration by tomorrow because I'm going to be sending out these materials to your house. And so I don't want anybody sitting there Saturday, I didn't get my stuff, because Monday is the deadline. It ain't no extensions. All right. We got to be, again, about business, right? So there's no extension. Whoever's not registered, they won't get their stuff. So I want to make sure that you get it. All right. I see you. So we're going to have a good time on Saturday. And we have just other great things coming for you through Conspired Destiny. Also, we'll have some more announcements about some other businesses and things that we are launching from the Bradford household and just this fellowship. We have some people that are here that are working with us, and so I'm not gonna really reveal it all yet. When it gets where it needs to be, then we're gonna express that and officially launch that. But again, thank you all for your support. We love you, and I pray that you just continue to walk in victory and understand that when you want something, the entire universe conspires to give it to you. Build, folks. Build it up. I love you. Y'all have a wonderful week.